We were learning about today the emus and how um these two explorers, Perry and France, brought um essentially what was known as Eskimos from the Arctic to New York. And they were supposed to bring them back, but basically what happened was that they got so, and this is my opinion, so enamored and so greedy by money and studying a different culture and use eventually to not to skip ahead, but eventually, obviously, these people live in very cold places. They eventually got sick and they weren't immune or adapted to our climate. And they would use their body parts, their bones, their skeletons, and put them in a museum. We basically use them as guinea pigs and lab rats. And in the midst of all this, a little boy got in the got in, you know, got hurt by the crossfires because he lost everything he known. He was adopted by an American family. He eventually found out what happened to his parents. He wanted to go back to the Arctic, but the explorers said there was no room, and really did something cold where staged the funeral with his father, which that wasn't really his father's body, and he was tricked. And eventually he learned how to read and write. He found out what happened to his country people, and he contacted the news and tried to exploit the two um explorers. In the mix, he went back to his homeland, and he felt like an outsider because he didn't know the language and he was only 6 years old. Um, so he had to relearn the language, and he fell out of place because he's been living in New York for so long, 7 years of his life. So eventually, he found his way back to the US, and he fell out of place again in the US, met a couple friends back in New York and Pennsylvania, and he never got the full justified of what happened to his dad, because in the mix, the US was in war with Europe, and it's a very tragic case because it's like the caste system all over again. I'm better than you, you're better than me, all this type of stuff. And it's just not right. It's just not right. I know what it feels like for a human being to be used as a guinea pig, because at a very young age, up until recently, from small till recently, I was having a lot of operations, and I know how the sickness of money and greed can get in the way with human sentiments and human feelings and human heart. Um, Definitely, these group of people was exploited. Definitely, these group of people were insulted with their intelligence, and definitely they were discriminated against.